Hi, I'm Daniel, I'm a sleep physician, and if you're insomnia, this channel is for you. Have you ever watched milk boil? It takes forever. Step away for just 1 second though, and you'll return to a burnt mess. If you stop waiting for sleep, you will speed up time and sleep amazing. Hello there, hope you're doing really well, and welcome to episode 282, in which we'll see how we can speed up time. What happened really today was, what gave me the idea to talk about this today was the following. I was making porridge this morning, which I do, oatmeal porridge every morning for my kids. And sometimes, like this morning, I didn't have anything particular other than making porridge to do. So I just, poured in the oatmeal, poured in the water, and I was just waiting for it to boil, and it felt like it took forever. But I know other times when I do the same thing, but I have to, brush my teeth or go get something or whatnot, it will inevitably just boil over. It feels like when you're not waiting for it to boil, it just takes a second. This shows us how, our perception of time can really change depending on what we do. If you're waiting for something to happen, it feels like it takes forever. If we're kind of doing something else, and then return to see what's happened, it feels like time just flies by. So how does this apply to sleep? Well, a lot of my patients tell me that, it takes a long time to fall asleep, takes hours, or they'll say, I wake up and then it takes hours for me to fall back asleep. And then I ask, so between, 10 p.m. when you go to bed and 1 a.m. When you finally fall asleep, what do you do? And a lot of people are, well, I'm just in bed, trying to sleep, essentially waiting for sleep. And as we've seen, when you wait for sleep, it feels like it takes forever. Imagine 3 hours. When you're just waiting for 3 hours, that sure will feel like 6 hours. And if you wake up at 1 a.m. and you finally fall back asleep at 4 a.m., same thing, those 3 hours will feel like an eternity. So this is why I believe that it's so important not to wait for sleep. Not to wait for sleep, because then it will feel like time goes by much faster. So, instead of waiting for sleep, what should you be doing? Well, here's the thing, you probably heard me say a lot of times before. It's, when you're kind of struggling to fall asleep, it's really important to shift your attention, do something else, because as soon as you stop thinking about sleep, sleep comes much easier. Well, and what also becomes true when you shift your attention like that is that you're not waiting. So in addition to shifting attention, helping with falling asleep, shifting attention also will help with feeling like time passes much quicker. So what should you be doing more practically here? I think anything that you find enjoyable, and not hyper stimulating, not like, if you're kind of like, reading the news is upsetting, or you're like, your finances are not that great, then you should not be, watching the news or like calculating, how much, you owe on this thing or whatnot. That is going to be upsetting. You should not do that. But short of something that's obviously going to be upsetting or super engaging, anything, read a book, watch some Netflix, do some dishes, listen to a podcast. I will say that I believe it's important not to know the time after certain, after, let's say, whatever's appropriate for you, but after 10 p.m. or after 11 p.m. or whatnot, it's good not to know the time. So I think screens are fine, but the problem with screens is that they often tell you what time it is, which is really problematic. So when it takes a long time to fall asleep, or when you are waking up and it takes a long time to fall back asleep, try not to wait for sleep. Do something that will speed up time. Since we have a few more minutes, I want to, first of all, actually, before you might lose, I might lose your attention here. If you have any questions, please send them as a comment or email me, daniel@insomniainsight.co. And before I let you go here, I just want to kind of credit the thinking here to Ellen Wormter, who guested me at Talking Insomnia. I can't remember which episode, but she emailed me a few weeks ago and shared something she'd heard in a documentary about like airline traveling. And how when you go online and you buy tickets for an airline, and the website is searching for the tickets, back in the day, people felt like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. What's happening? Because there was just like this static picture while we were searching. Kayak, one of those search engines, realized that if they showed, people how they were searching, like they showed that looking through this, etc., people felt like it just, things went by faster. And Ellen said, how can we kind of exploit this to make people feel like time passes by quicker? So just a credit to Ellen for this idea. So I hope this was helpful, and hope to hear from you if you have any comments, or email me, and I'll be back with more tomorrow. Until then, take it easy.